one of the least understood function formulas that we use in the database arena within this program is the subtotal. The subtotal in itself ignores hidden data, based on filtering or based on, let's say, hiding rows. So what normally would happen, I'll give you an example here. We've set up some data here, some transactions with everything and totals over in the end. And what we want to do is initially know how much we did in total sales for everything we see displayed here. Okay, it goes on for a while. Now, if you were just to use just the sum function, okay, instead of using the subtotal and then I guess the sum version of the subtotal, if you just did sum over here, so let's just say I'll just do an auto sum here, and I'll take this one right here and select that, go all the way down to the bottom, 75,000 rows plus. So I'm adding up that range, right? I hit enter, right? Go back up to the top here, almost $1.5 billion in sales. Now, if I go in, I've got my filtering turned on, and we've talked about filtering in the past videos within this section. But let's just say that you decided that you want to see just those sales for Hendrix, okay? You want to focus in on those. And you want to see the total for that. Well, you would think, well, I guess I'll just go over here to sales rep, hit my select all. I'm going to find Hendrix, put a little check mark in there, right? Hit OK, and now I've focused in on, if you look at the very bottom here, a little over 5,000 out of 75,000 records, right? But look at this. We still have $1.5 billion in sales. And the reason for that is the sum function added up this range. Regardless if you hit it because of filtering or hit it because you just said, I want to hide that row, either way, the sum will also include those that are hidden or whatever, right? So that's our problem. So instead of using the sum function, we will use the sum function sub of subtotal, right? Or part of it. There's about 9 functions that you can have within subtotal. But the key is the subtotal as a housing for the sum ignores that which you don't see on the sheet, right? Hidden because of filtering or hidden because you hit it, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to clear my filter. So I'll just go back to my sales rep here, hit clear filter, now I'm back to everybody, right? So I'm going to go back to this cell, and instead of typing in, instead of going with this formula here, we're going to use this one right here. Number 9 represents summing. Number 1 represents averaging, right? That which is displayed and what's hidden, it'll ignore it. Now, this is a great tool when you're filtering to be able to see only the total for what is being displayed, based on the criteria, right? Now, if you use this formula here for it, okay, it works perfect. But if you were also, in addition to doing filtering, you're also like going in here and saying, oh, I want to hide that row, I'll hide that row, I'll hide that row. If I just went in there and did a right click and so, okay, I want to hide it, right? This formula will still only, will ignore the fact that you hit it like that, right? On the other hand, if you use this formula, and the only difference is that it's using subtotal number 109, that will ignore in the totals not only what's filtered out, but also what's hidden, okay? So, and the key is that this one is pretty much universal. So we can almost forget about even using this, use this one, and it makes it much more universal, all right? So here's what we're going to do. Go back to that cell. I'm going to type in equal SUB. All right. You'll see subtotal. I'll double click onto that. All right. And I'm going to go with my sum, but instead of number 9, I'm going to go with 109. See this one here. So I'll click onto that. I'll just double click it. You can also type in 109. Then a comma. All right. And then, in essence, the range that you want to subtotal. So in this case, we'll do this. So you want to set this up before you filtered anything, right? Because you don't want to miss anything. So I start there, Control, Shift, down arrow key, selects all the way to the bottom. I can then just hit the Enter key, and now, again, I still have the same number. But now, if I go over here and I say, okay, I want to see only atoms, right? So I click on the atoms, do my select all and hit atoms, right? Hit OK. Now I've filtered down just to having atoms, and look at the total completely changed as well. So that's perfect. If I went in there and hid one of these rows, it would then reduce this as well. So that's the beauty of using the universal one here, okay? Now I'll go back and I'll clear the filter, and I'm going to throw in a little extra here. I'm tired of having, because I want to do all of these, right? I'm tired of having to type or to select that range over and over again. So if I take the range over here and give it a nickname, all right, or what we would call a range name, then I can just specify the name instead of this whole range here when I'm setting this up. So here's how you do this. You click on to H9 here, okay? That's the first one. Control Shift down arrow key. All right. Now, up in this area called the name box, you click it, and I'm just going to type in the letter T. I can get away with that. I mean, I'm so lazy, just the letter T. Hit the Enter key, and now the letter T. So if I go back up here now and I click on the T, it selects that range. See? So that's pretty good. So now what I can do is I can go over to here for the count, type in equal SUB, subtotal, and I want to do number 103 this time. So there's 103, comma, now look at this, the letter T. I'm done. Hit the Enter key, there it is, 75,000 transactions basically, right? Equal SUB, subtotal, in this case it's going to be number 1 or 101 in this case. Choose that one. I'll just double click it, comma, T. Enter it. Look at that. Unbelievable. I want to find the highest number, equal SUB, subtotal, number 9 or, I'm sorry, number 4 or 104, right? So there's the max, right? Comma T. Done. And then the same thing for the min, all right? That'll be number 5. So I just do an equal sub. There's subtotal. And this one's going to be, I'll just type in 105. So 105, comma, and then T. That's it. Enter that in. Voila. Now, go back in there to the country. And I say, I want to see nothing but Brazil and Australia. So there we go, those two. Hit OK. So Brazil, Australia, that's the only 2 in there. And there's your totals and everything else. So pretty good stuff there. Pretty good. And if I also, now you'll see it changed slightly here. If I go to number 57 here, which is, you know, part of the criteria that we have here, right? And I go in there and I do a right click on it and I hide it, right? Now watch what happens to the, maybe look at the 30,000 there. It brought, oh, that's different, but you saw the other ones change there, so it updated there. So pretty cool. I'll hit undo so you can see it. So there's undo, voila, and then redo. Look at that, huh? All right, I meant the count is what I was looking at, the 3rd row there. All right, very good, you guys. So hopefully you can use this, and you can now see why we want to use subtotal in some situations over just the regular, sum or count or whatever you're trying to do. So hopefully this helps you out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.